Hi guys, welcome to MJ Pro YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this beautiful princess dart bustier you see here. With the method I'll be showing you, you'll be able to join the front to the back easily without any stress. So if you are interested in knowing how to do this, please keep watching. And if today is your first time on this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. And also don't forget to drop a like and a comment. The first thing I'll be doing is to draft on my pattern paper, after which I'll transfer it to my main fabric. So first I'll go ahead to draw a straight horizontal line at the top of my paper like this. This line here is going to serve as the shoulder line and where I'll be starting my measurement from. Next I'll go ahead to insert my vertical measurement, which is the shoulder to the bust point, shoulder to the under bust and shoulder to the half length. So I'm going to go ahead to mark this point like you see me doing in the video. After marking the point, I'll go ahead to mark the same thing on this other side so that I'll be able to draw a straight horizontal line. After replicating the point, I'll go ahead to draw a straight horizontal line with my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So next I'll go ahead to label this part as my bust point. Right here is the under bust and this part here is going to serve as the half length. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert my shoulder measurement on the shoulder line. So I'll go ahead to divide my shoulder by 2 and mark. After marking it, I'll be coming down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Then from this point here, I'll go ahead to insert my armhole depth, which is 7.5. After which I'll go ahead to connect the point together with my ruler like you see me doing in the video. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is to take out the dart, and in doing that, first I'll go ahead to divide my nipple to nipple measurement by 2. So my nipple to nipple measurement is 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.75. I'll go ahead to insert the 3.75 on the bust point line like you see me doing in the video. So after marking the 3.75 on the under bust line, I'm going to go ahead to minus 0.5 inch from whatever I had on the bust point line. So I'll go ahead to minus 0.5 inch from the 3.75, which gave me 3.25. So whatever you have on the bust point, you minus 0.5 inch and insert that on the under bust. I'll go ahead to insert the same 3.25 on the half length line. After doing that, I'll go ahead to connect the 2 points together with my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So this is what you should have at this point. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to take out the dart, and I'll be taking out 2 inch for the dart. I'll go ahead to mark 2 inch on my half length line like this, and I'll do the same thing on my under bust line like this. After marking this point, I'll be coming down by 1 inch from the bust point line like you see me doing in the video. Next, I'll connect this point to the under bust using the curved part of my ruler, and I'll go ahead to connect the under bust to the waistline using a straight line like this. So this is what the dart should look like. Next, to move over to the armhole area. So the first thing you're going to go ahead to do at this point is to come down by 3 inch or 3.5 inch from the armhole line. So I'm going to be coming down by 3 inch like this. I'll go ahead to mark it. After marking, I'll connect this point to my bust point line using my ruler like this. After connecting to the bust point, next I'll go ahead to take out the armhole dart, and for the armhole dart I'm going to be marking 1.5 inch for the armhole dart. This armhole dart is going to help give the armhole area fitting. After marking the 1.5 inch, I'll connect the point again to the bust point line with my ruler like this. Next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to replace the 1.5 inch I took out for the dart, because if you don't do that, when joining you discover that the two parts are not aligning. To avoid that, you need to replace the 1.5 inch you took. So I'm going to go ahead to replace it this way and mark. After marking, I will extend my line with my ruler like this. So this is what the armhole dart is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert my bust measurement on the chest line. So I'm going to go ahead to insert my bust divided by 4 at this point and mark. After marking, I'll measure what I have on the dart area and replace it on the side to avoid shortage. Next, I'll go over to the waistline and do the same thing. I'm going to be dividing my waist by 4 and I'll go ahead to mark on the waistline like this. After marking it, I'll also go ahead to measure what I have on the dart area. So here I have 2 inch. I'll replace it on the side like this. After that, I'll go ahead to connect the chest line to the half length line using the straight line like this. After doing this, I'll go ahead to draw the armhole with my ruler like this. I'll be cutting off this part that you see me shading like this. This part is going to be cut off, and also this other side also I'll be cutting off this part you see me shading. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw my neckline, and in doing that I'm going to go ahead to mark a neck width of 3.5 inch. You can decide to draw whatever neckline you like. The choice is yours to make. After marking a neck width of 3.5 inch, I'll be marking a neck depth of 4 inch, after which I'll go ahead to draw a simple round neck with my ruler like this. Then I'll go ahead to draw the shoulder slope. So this is what we are going to be having. The next I'll be doing is to insert my sewing allowance on the side of the bustier like this. So I'm going to go ahead to mark a sewing allowance of 1.5 inch on the chest line and also on the half length line. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead to connect the 2 points together, after which I'll cut it out. So just watch what I'm doing and follow the same process. After cutting, this is what the front is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut the back of the bustier. So here I have my pattern paper laid out for the back. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw a straight horizontal line at the top of my paper, which is going to serve as the shoulder line. So after drawing the line, next I'm going to go ahead to mark 1.5 inch at this point. This 1.5 inch is going to serve as my zipper allowance. I'm going to mark it all the way down. After marking it, I'll connect the points together using a straight vertical line like this. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert half of my shoulder measurement on the shoulder line. So I'm starting my measurement from this point. I'm going to go ahead to insert my shoulder divided by 2 at this point. Then I'll be coming down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. After coming down by 1 inch, I'll go ahead to insert my armhole depth, after which I'll connect the points together with my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert my vertical measurement. So I'm going to go ahead to measure my shoulder to bust point line and mark, and I'll measure my shoulder to my half length. So the back of the bustier is 1 inch or 1.5 inch shorter than the front of the bustier. So when measuring your clients, you make sure that you measure the front from the shoulder to the waist on the front, and do the same thing for the back to know how much difference you are going to be giving while you are making your own bustier. The next I'm going to go ahead to do is to insert my bust measurement on the chest line. So when taking your measurement, you'll be starting from this point. I'm going to go ahead to insert my bust divided by 4 at this point. After marking it, I'll also mark the same thing on the waistline. I'll be inserting my waist divided by 4, and I'll be adding 1 inch for waist dart at this point. Then I'll go ahead to connect the sides with my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So after doing this, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to extend my chest line like this, like you see me doing in the video. Then I'll go ahead to take out the waist dart, and in doing that I'll be dividing my nipple to nipple measurement by 2. So my nipple to nipple measurement is 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.75. I'll go ahead to mark it on the chest line and also on my half length line. After marking it, I'll connect the 2 points together with a straight line with my ruler like this. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw my dart leg. I'll mark 0.5 inch on both sides like this, after which I'll connect back to the chest line using my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So this is what the dart is going to look like. Next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert my neck measurement. So the neck width for the front and the back is always the same, but you can decide to use whatever neck depth you want to use for the back. So I'm going to go ahead to draw my neckline like you see me doing in the video. So the choice of neckline is yours to make. You can draw whatever neckline you like at the back of your bustier. So after drawing the back neckline, I'm going to go ahead to draw the shoulder slope with my ruler like this. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw the back armhole for the bustier we are making, after which I'll go ahead to insert my sewing allowance of 1.5 inch on the chest line and also on the waistline. After marking the point, I'll connect it with my ruler like this. So this is what we are going to be having. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to show you how to eliminate your zipper bulge at the back of your dress. And in doing that, you'll be going in by 0.5 inch on the waistline like this. So you are going to be going in by 0.5 inch on the waistline. After doing that, you're going to be connecting it to your chest line like you see me doing in the video. So this is going to help eliminate whatever zipper bulge you have at the back. So after drawing that line, you're going to go ahead to retake your zipper allowance. As you can see, I'm retaking my zipper allowance like this. I'm marking 1.5 inch all the way down. Sorry, my camera didn't really capture that point, but all you'll be doing at that point is to retake your zipper allowance. After retaking it, you're going to go ahead to connect the point with a straight line like this. So this is going to be your new zipper allowance, and when fixing your zip, ensure you follow the shape at the back. Next, you're going to go ahead to replace the 0.5 inch you took on the side like this, so as to avoid shortage, after which you connect it to the chest line using your ruler like this. So this is what the back is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut it out. After cutting the back, this is what we are going to be having. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut my fabric using the pattern that has been drafted already. So I've gone ahead to cut out my fabric using the pattern that was drafted, and this is what the front is going to look like. And here I have the back. I also went ahead to cut out my lining while cutting my fabric. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach my wadding to this front block, after which I'll come back to show you what to do next. So I've gone ahead to attach my wadding to the bustier, and this is what we are going to be having. So if you don't know how to do this, I'm going to be dropping a detailed tutorial on how to attach a wadding to the bustier. I didn't do that here because I don't want the video to be too long. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the center panel to the side, and in doing that, I'm going to be placing the side on the center panel this way. Then I'll go over my sewing machine to stitch from the lower part down to the top, and I'll be doing the same thing for this other side also. I'll stitch from the lower part to the top like this, and I'll also be doing the same thing for my lining. So I'm going to go ahead to quickly do that, then I'll come back to show you what to do next. So after joining the center to the side panel, this is what we are going to be having. As you can see, the bustier came out looking really nice. And I also went ahead to do the same thing for the lining. This is what the lining looked like. I went ahead to give it a good press, and this is what you should have after doing that. The next I'm going to go ahead to do is to trim the armhole, and in doing that, I'll be folding the bustier this way, making sure that the shoulder and the half length are aligning. So I'm going to go ahead to arrange it like you see me doing in the video. After doing this, I'm going to go ahead to do the same thing on my lining and place my lining on it before trimming it. So when trimming, you'll be trimming your lining and the main fabric together to avoid shortage when it's time to drain the lining and the fabric. So I'm going to go ahead to fold my lining the same way I folded my main fabric. Then I'll place it underneath my main fabric like you see me doing in the video. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead to secure it with my pins, then I'll trim the armhole. So just watch what I'm doing and follow the same process. After trimming the armhole, this is what we are going to be having. As you can see, we are having a perfect curve on the armhole area now. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join my lining to the main fabric. So I'm going to be placing my lining on my fabric this way, making sure that the good face are facing each other. After which I'll go over my sewing machine to stitch the neck. After stitching the neck, I'll also go ahead to close up the sides. So I'm going to go ahead to quickly do that. Then I'll come back to show you what to do next. So after fixing my lining to my main fabric, this is what we have. This is what the inner part is going to look like. I went ahead to turn it over to the good face and I gave it a good press, and this is what we have. As you can see, we are still retaining the curve of the bustier. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to work on the back of the bustier. So here I have the back block. I've gone ahead to cut out my main fabric and the lining. So when cutting on your fabric, make sure you add your sewing allowance to the half length line and also to the shoulder line. I didn't add to the side because I did that while drafting. The next I'm going to go ahead to do is to remove my pattern paper, but before then I'm going to go ahead to notch the dart area so that I will know where to place the dart while sewing on the fabric. So I'm going to go ahead to notch the dart area like you see me doing in the video, after which I'll go ahead to remove my pattern paper. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to separate the back. I'm going to go ahead to open up the back like you see me doing in the video. After opening up the back, I'm going to go ahead to add my lining to the back block. But before then, I'm going to go ahead to sew in the waist dart on the fabric and the lining separately. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead to join my lining to the main fabric, making sure that the good face is facing each other. Then I'll go ahead to close up the neck area, the zipper area and the side. After which I'll go ahead to turn it over to the good face, give it a good press, then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So I've gone ahead to attach my lining to my main fabric, and this is what it's going to look like, and this is what the dart area is going to look like. So this is what you should have when you are done with the back block of the bustier. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the front to the back of the bustier. So before completing your dress, if you're making a gown or a peplon, you make sure that you check to see that the front and the back block are aligning to avoid shortage. So you place it this way and ensure that they are both aligning. As you can see, mine is aligning, but if yours is not aligning, you can go ahead to trim it to make sure that the front and the back are equal, so you don't have issues when it comes to finishing up the dress you are making. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach this bustier to this 6 pieces skirt because I'm making a 6 pieces gown. So I'm going to go ahead to do that, then I'll finish up the dress, after which I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So after finishing up the gown I'm making, this is what we have, and this is what the bustier look like. As you can see, it's looking so beautiful and the bustier came out really nice. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial.